Hopefully some people are joining. If you're new, my name is Peter Marino. I'm a personal trainer and health coach for about 30 years now. I suffer from IBS. I've had it for about 15 years, probably longer than that, but it's been really bad the last 15 years. And that was because I had Lyme disease and I had to go through this whole antibiotic regimen, and it depleted all the good bacteria in my intestines. So with that said, I learned a lot about IBS, how to deal with it, what probiotics to take, what enzymes to take, what foods to avoid, what foods to consume more of. So it's been quite an ordeal, but I've learned a lot about my body and the human body in general by having this ailment. So it's like a curse, but it's also a blessing. So if you guys have any questions, you could post it in the chat. So I do have one question here. What are some nutritious and easily digestible pre-workout snacks to fuel physical activity? All right, that's a good one. So if you have IBS, there are certain foods that you need to avoid. They're called high FODMAP foods. And a FODMAP, if you're not familiar, is basically an acronym for saccharides or sugars that certain people that have IBS can't digest. So when you're making a decision about a pre-workout snack and you have IBS, you want to use certain foods like oranges, pineapple, kiwi, even unripened banana. It has to be unripened. If it's ripe, then it has higher FODMAPs. So those are good snacks that you could have about 30 minutes before a workout. Okay. Right. Okay, another question. How long before a workout should one eat a pre-workout snack for optimal energy levels? It really depends. If it's fatty or high protein, it should be about an hour and a half to 2 hours beforehand. If it's an easily digestible carb, like the ones mentioned before, like the oranges and pineapple, you could have that about 30 minutes before. Okay, let me see. Okay, I see something. Don't see a question, but see someone posted about the gut and bone broth. Yeah. So yeah, bone broth is very good for the gut. But the problem with that is most of those bone broths have garlic and onion in it. So there are low FODMAP alternatives out there that are geared for people like us that have IBS. So yes, bone broth is very good, but you need to watch out for the garlic and onion in it. Those are high FODMAP foods. Okay. Avocados, yeah, avocados are good, but because they're a little bit more fatty, you may want to have it about 45 minutes to an hour before a workout. Okay. Let's see if we get any other questions. All right. I think I have a question here. What is a pre-workout snack's ideal balance of macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats? All right, so that really depends. It depends on the activity. if it's a high intensity interval training or HIIT workout, it should be a balance of carbohydrates and protein. So a great thing to do is have a shake like the one I use, Casa de Sante's vegan low FODMAP protein powder. And I have it with pineapple, and I'll put a few blueberries in it. Got to be careful with blueberries. They're kind of moderate in FODMAP, so you could have like a small amount, but not too much. So yeah, it depends on what type of workout you're doing. So if it's an endurance workout or a low intensity workout, something like nuts, like 6 to 8 macadamia nuts or 8 to 9 Brazil nuts are great with like a glass of water. And you would have that again, like 45 minutes to an hour, because it's a little bit more fatty. So the reason why I picked macadamia nuts and Brazil nuts is because they're the lowest in FODMAPs out of all the nuts out there. Okay, let's see if we get another question here. All right. All right. What are some quick and convenient pre-workout snack options for those with busy schedules? Again, I would suggest having like a shake. It's very easy to make. You just need some, I use frozen fruit, so it's always ready, it's always fresh. And it also makes the shake nice and cold and refreshing. So I'll have mostly pineapple, and I'll mix it with the protein powder by Casa de Sante. So that's my favorite because it's low FODMAP. You don't have to worry about containing all those fillers and FODMAPs that other brands carry. Okay. Let's see. The question. Are there any foods or ingredients that should be avoided in pre-workout snacks to prevent GI, gastrointestinal discomfort? Yes, yeah, there's definitely things you need to avoid. And for people with IBS, it's FODMAPs. So again, the acronym, it's basically a variety of saccharides or carbohydrates that individuals like me and you can't digest. So when you're looking at bars or shakes out there, you're thinking about having one of those before a workout. Make sure you look very carefully at the sugar alcohol content. And sometimes it won't even, because I don't think the FDA mandates it, it could be listed as natural flavors. And that could be sugar alcohols. And those sugar alcohols will really wreak havoc on your gut, make you bloated, uncomfortable. And for many people, it'll cause diarrhea. So it's something you definitely want to avoid before a workout. There's a common fiber out there used that's cheap. It's called inulin, and that causes a lot of GI stress. So that's something you should look for in the sugar alcohols. Those are the two major culprits, in addition to lactose. Lactose is common, especially in dairy-based products. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Let's see. All right. Here's a good one. How does IBS impact an individual's overall fitness and health, in addition to their mood and emotional well-being? So From experience, I could say that IBS has a major effect on your health if you don't know how to handle it properly. Um, and it definitely affects your mood, where there are numerous studies now showing the correlation of your gut microbiome and your mood, as well as mental health issues. So if you have an altered gut microbiome, and most of us that have IBS do, uh, it could definitely impact everything in your life, from your mood to your bowel movements to your feeling of bloated and uncomfortable. So yeah, it has a major effect, and that's why it's important to know what FODMAPs are, how to look for them. If you need help with that, there's an app by Monash University. So Monash University is the university in Australia that made the low FODMAP diet. They have an app where you could download on your phone, and it'll show you all the foods that are high FODMAP and low FODMAP, so you can make better choices while you're out. Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? Okay, I got one here. What role does hydration and electrolytes play in pre-workout nutrition? And how can they be incorporated into pre-workout snacks? Well, if you make the right choices, like a decent snack before a workout, like pineapple or an unripened banana, has lots of potassium. And any kind of fruits basically have potassium, which is the main electrolyte that we tend to be low on. But nuts as well. Nuts are really good because they're not only high in magnesium, they're high in uh, potassium. So magnesium is another electrolyte that's extremely important before a workout because it's involved with muscle contraction. So if you need to have electrolytes before a workout and you don't want to use like the bars and shakes out there, you could always have nuts and fruit, which are good alternatives. Okay. Let's see, any other questions? Okay, I think this question I kind of answered already. How do different types of workouts, like strength training, cardio, HIIT, influence the choice of pre-workout snacks? Again, it depends on the type of workout. So if it's a carbohydrate intensive workout, like a strength training workout or a HIIT workout, those require more carbohydrates, but they also require more protein to prevent excessive muscle breakdown. Um, if it's an endurance workout, then you're going to use something like nuts as your base because it has fat, and you're using more fat when you're doing cardio or low intensity training. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. Okay, I got one question here. How do you make IBS centered meals tasty? Yeah, low FODMAP diet can be kind of boring because you can't use garlic and onion. But I do, Casa de Sante also makes herbs, and I use them all the time. I'll show you some of my favorites. So we've got a Thai curry powder that's low FODMAP. There's no garlic, no onion in it, so it won't cause any bloat. There's an organic chimichurri rub. I love that on steak. That's awesome. And one of my go-tos is definitely this one, the Cajun Creole seasoning. This is one of my favorites. I use this on chicken all the time and make wings with this. Oh, it's so tasty. It's really good. Good stuff. So you can eat tasty and still eat low FODMAP. You don't have to have a ton of garlic or onion in your diet to make it tasty. And the other thing you could do, if you really love garlic, they have garlic infused oils. So the garlic infused oils don't have any FODMAPs in it because it's oil based, and saccharides separate from oil because they're carbohydrate based. So you don't have to worry about it in there. So that's another good alternative. That's a good question. All right. Okay. Looks kind of quiet now. All right. All right. Make sure you send your questions in. Okay, I got one here. Can the unpredictable nature of IBS make it challenging for individuals to maintain a consistent fitness routine? Okay, yeah, it can make it challenging. That's why you need to take control of your gut health. And the most important thing is your diet and lowering the FODMAPs. You have to figure out which ones you're super sensitive to. Once you figure that out, it's going to help you greatly because then you won't have this bloat. You won't have either the constipation or diarrhea that comes with IBS. So once you get that under control, then your fitness routine will be under control as well. You won't be limited. When I first got IBS and I didn't know anything about FODMAPs, it was very difficult. I tried to work out as much as I could, but most of the time I was only getting like 2 or 3 workouts in a week, and they weren't very intense at all. So just by having that power over my gut and how to deal with it, it's allowed me to work out more frequently and basically live better. Because you can't live like that for long. It's really hell. Let's see. I think I got another question here. What types of exercises are best suited for individuals with IBS? Okay. There's no best type, but there are certain exercises, especially when you don't have IBS under control, like HIIT workouts or very long strength training workouts or very long endurance training workouts like running marathons. Those can all affect IBS and actually exacerbate it. So when you're first getting your IBS under control, you should try to limit those kinds of workouts and gradually build it up. As you get better control over your gut, you'll find that you have more control over your workout life. Okay. All right, this is a good question. How can an individual with IBS develop a personalized fitness plan that takes their symptoms and emotional well-being into account? That's funny you should ask that, because I'm going to be working with Casa de Sante to make a new service to do just that, to help people to create programs through an app. It's also on a website, so you're not stuck on the phone. It'll be helping people like you to do fitness routines and change it over time according to your tolerance. So that's something we're working on, and it should be coming up very soon. And we'll definitely let you know. Just stay on our list, stay in touch with us, and we'll let you know. Are there specific workout regimens or strategies that can help alleviate IBS symptoms and improve mood? Yes, yoga is actually really good for improving IBS symptoms, and doing some simple stretches, yoga-based moves like spinal twists, as long as it's very soft, like when you're going through an episode, if you have IBS, you know this already, but if you're going through an episode, you are feeling very weak and you don't want to do anything. But once you start moving and you start doing these stretches, it actually increases circulation in the gut, and it helps the healing to happen and get over the symptoms. Okay. Oh, wow. How important is stress management and the relationship between IBS, mood, and physical fitness? So stress management is extremely important, because for some people with IBS, it's definitely exacerbated by any kind of stress or turmoil that's going on in your life. So having a stress management plan, like doing meditation, gentle yoga, even seeing a therapist, these are things that could alleviate your stress and help your IBS symptoms. It's very important. Great question. Okay. Are there any resources or support groups available for individuals with IBS who are looking to improve their fitness and mental health? Yeah, there's plenty of resources out there. Casa de Sante has their own Facebook group. You could post stuff in there, post questions. We have dietitians on board that will help you, as well as myself. So I told you we're working on implementing fitness as a part of the service. So yeah, one of the best things to do, though, is get yourself educated as much as you can about low FODMAP foods, about the gut microbiome. And Monash University is a great resource for that. Like what I said before, they invented the low FODMAP diet, and it's been backed up by tons of research. And I could attest to it myself. If I didn't have this diet, I didn't understand it, I would be a mess right now. I wouldn't be able to do everything that I do. So I'm very thankful for that. So the best thing you should do is get yourself educated, download the app from Monash University, use the support groups we have. There's plenty of others out there, but Casa de Sante is one of the few companies that is helping people with IBS in so many different ways, and they're growing rapidly. So I would stick with it and try to, you know, have them as your support group. Okay. Of course, I'm biased with that, but okay. Let's see if there's any other questions. Oh, this is a great one. What are the key factors to consider when choosing a prebiotic and probiotic supplement? All right, so this is where Casa de Sante really is better than the rest out there if you have IBS, because all their formulas are free of the FODMAPs that are in a lot of these probiotic supplements. I'm going to show you a couple. That's right here. So they have a probiotic and prebiotic complex that caters to people with IBS. I don't know if you could see that there. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. But this is my go-to. I have this on a daily basis. A lot of prebiotics out there, like, what is it? There's fructo-oligosaccharide. There's FOS is one of the prebiotics, very common in probiotic supplements, and that actually causes gastric distress for people that have IBS. So you want to avoid stuff like that. So you could be sure that whatever Casa de Sante makes, they're geared to people with IBS. So yeah, it's definitely one of the best out there that I would recommend. I think there was another one about enzymes as well. So yeah, they also make an enzyme complex that actually contains probiotics as well. So you could get this one supplement if you prefer to just do one. It has the enzymes to help you break down some of those FODMAPs before they get into the large intestine, small intestines, where it causes issues. So that's another way of preventing flare-up of IBS. Taking enzymes, especially when you're not sure. So I carry the enzymes with me whenever I go out, because it'll help me eat different types of foods without worrying as much. I mean, I might get some issues still, but the severity is much, much less. It's like 80% less. So it's a big difference, and I would definitely suggest that. All right. I think that's it. All right. Okay, any other questions? Let's see. All right. I think that might be everything, unless someone else joins right now. I don't see any other questions. So if there's no other questions, I just wanted to say thank you for joining. This was my first time doing this kind of live segment. So I was a little nervous, but I love helping people. So I'm really glad and honored to be able to do this and to help others out there that also suffer from gastric distress or IBS or IBD, whatever it may be. I'm happy to help. And if you need to stay in touch with me, you could stay in touch on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. It's at Peter Marino Fitness. And if that's it, I think we'll be closing it out. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. So I think that's it, everyone. Again, it was an honor to be on here. I hope to be on here again soon. And if you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to send me. I'd be happy to help. All right. Take care, everyone.